In the wake of Hulk Hogan's passing, the world has been remembering a titan of entertainment. But beneath the global tributes, a more personal and complicated story has been lingering. The well-known estrangement between Hogan and his daughter Brooke. For the last couple of years, fans have known something was wrong, and in the silence following his passing, one question's been on everyone's mind. What truly happened between them? Now, for the first time, Brooke Hogan is breaking her silence, and her story is far more complex than anyone imagined. In a lengthy and emotional statement posted to social media, Brooke began not with the conflict, but with the profound connection she says they shared. She painted a picture of a bond that went beyond the public eye. She wrote, "My dad's blood runs through my veins. His eyes shine through my children, and our bond is never broken, not even in his final moments. We had a connection deeper than words, one that spanned lifetimes." She shared intimate memories, showing a side of Hogan few ever saw. She said, "I'll remember watching him build my Barbie dream houses, our jet ski rides, laughing till we cried when no one else got the joke. The way he gave me a love and respect for the ocean, the beach, sunsets, and the beauty God painted into his life. His hugs were my home." She adds that she's grateful she knew the real version of him, not just the one the world viewed through a carefully curated lens. Brooke even revealed that one of her children, her daughter Molly Jean, is named after him, and that sometimes she swears she can smell his scent on her. She said that when she passed, she felt it before anyone even told her the news. She said, "When he left this earth, it felt like a part of my spirit left with him. I felt it before the news even reached us." According to Brooke, her father was at peace with his mortality, telling her that meeting God was the greatest championship he'd ever have. But after establishing this deep, lifelong bond, Brooke directly addressed the part of the story that's fueled years of speculation. She wrote, "But the world he left behind is different than we imagined. The media has been convoluting the narrative, and I felt it necessary to clear a few things up." This is where her story takes a turn, directly confronting the public perception of a family feud. For those who assumed a massive fight had torn them apart, Brooke offers a stark correction. She says, "We never had a big fight. My father and I never fought. It was a series of private phone calls no one will ever hear, know, or understand." She explains that during this time her father was leaning on her heavily. She states, "My father was confiding in me about issues weighing on his heart, both personal and business. I offered to be a life raft in whatever capacity he needed. I told him he had my support. I begged him to rest, to take care of himself. He had nothing else to prove to the world or anyone." In fact, she says, their bond was so strong that she and her husband moved down to Florida specifically to be closer to him as he was getting older. She recalls being by his side for nearly 25 surgeries over the years. But then, suddenly, everything changed. This is the core of her explanation. Not a fight, but a sudden, inexplicable wall that went up between them. Brooke describes it saying, "All of a sudden, he didn't want me at surgeries. Everything started getting covered in a thick veil. It was like there was a force field around him that I couldn't get through." She says this shift happened after he had been vulnerable with her, and it was a choice he seemed to make that pained him. She said, "He was telling me these things, being so vulnerable with me, and heard my pleas. Then suddenly, something shifted, and he made a choice to walk the path that clearly toward his spirit." What followed, she says, were respectful disagreements that took an emotional toll. This mysterious change in her father, combined with her own personal challenges, including a very complicated and scary C-section with her twins, led to her making a difficult choice. This is her answer as to why things were publicly estranged. Brooke explained, "During the last 2 years, I had to step away to protect my heart." She reveals that her husband kept trying to bridge the gap, quietly reaching out to her dad. After his passing, she read those messages. Some answered, some ignored, but all of them broke my heart. In the end, she said, she's at peace, knowing she did everything she could, and that he knew how much she loved him. She concludes with a heartbreakingly simple summary of what she always wanted from their relationship. "All I ever truly wanted from my father was love, honesty, and a deep connection. And for a few special years, I had that, with memories that would last a lifetime." She finishes her statement by expressing gratitude for the outpouring of support from fans and friends alike, saying, "His life was one worth celebrating, and always will be." So there you have it, and according to Brooke, there was no dramatic blow-up. Instead, It was a slow, painful drift, initiated by a mysterious force field around her father that ultimately forced her to step back to protect herself. It's a sad and complex end to a very public family story. Now, what are your favorite memories of the legendary Hulk Hogan as we continue to mourn the loss of a pro wrestling icon?